So in Salesforce, when we talk about territory, we can go with geographical bifurcation, and we can go with like a basis on our business model as well. So
Okay.
when we enable territory, after that, there are three teams which can actually use the territory function. First one is the account team. So what when we talk about say account, so here is a security control. Let me just open it up. So this is known as organization by default for the objects. So what does that mean in that case? Like data or the records for that in the particular object can be viewed in the same manner like how the security settings are mentioned. So if the security set is private, right? So I can only view my records. I cannot view your record. But there's a scenario like if I'm working on a like a you can say in a territory. So I need to know about all the accounts which fall under that territory. So
Yeah.
in that case, what I'll do, I'll create a team and I'll make you as a member of that team so you can actually view all the records which fall in the bucket of that team,
Okay.
right?
So
Uh-huh.
the team are people in that territory, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
So we talk about teams. You can see here there's an account team, there's an opportunity team, and there is a case team. So account team and case team, they work on Service Cloud. Account team and opportunity team, they work on Sales Cloud. So like bifurcation of Salesforce in terms of cloud, like what is Service Cloud, how it is different from Sales Cloud, what are the facilities available in service or sales, and what is the major difference? Because when you actually come like go to any organization as a developer or as an admin, the very first thing they'll tell you about is the business logic, like how they want to create the entire Salesforce structure. So rather than just going ahead and just going with the like kind of experience what you have in Salesforce, it is always better that you just go with the best practices. That's why like when we talk about declarative, because like all the things which are mentioned here apart from develop, that is known as declarative. That is point to click,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Now uh, just take a scenario. We are trying to build an application in which, as per business model, I have to like go with some kind of automation. Like for example, if the certain criteria met, if a lead is in state of war, I need to send email notification to the manager of that lead owner. So in that case, I can use the declarative functionality, this workflow, right? And I can also write a trigger that is non-declarative. It
Okay.
depends upon my business model, or you can say as a developer, I always need to think like scalability of the entire business process. Because if I'm
Okay.
using declarative thing that is already tested by Salesforce developers and all. So I can use that thing and I can scale up my mod. But if I'm using a non-declarative like a trigger, so in that case I
Mm.
have to check the code coverage of that particular trigger. It needs to be more than 75%. About 75% code coverage, it means like you have already checked the use cases of that particular trigger. For example, if you are building a certain logic, so the very first thing which you need to check that on which particular business module you are creating that logic, right? After that, you create some use cases or test cases. Then you check those test cases in your sandbox. Okay.
Yeah.
And after that, like you just like deploy that code from sandbox to production. So
Okay.
now let's go with the sharing settings again. Now this is termed as organization-wide default, right? So what does that
Mm.
mean? So these are all the objects in my Salesforce, and these are the rights. Now, when I just like try to check all the available options here, you can see there is also a checkbox that says grant access using hierarchies, right?
Mm.
So what is the impact of that particular checkbox? If that checkbox is not checked, in that case, your role hierarchy would not work. So for example,
So I
like,
didn't get what you said.
okay, that's good. Now here you can see like on lead object, I have private, public read only, public read write, and public read write transfer. But on my opportunity, I don't have that transfer functionality available, right?
Okay.
Now, as like you can see on account and or like on order, there is like thing controlled by parent, but I don't have that functionality in opportunities or in account. So for every object, there is like default access that is defined by Salesforce. Leads,
Okay. Okay.
leads cases, they can be transferred from one person to another person because that is just the information. But account and or you can say opportunity, that is the ownership of that particular person. That's
Yeah.
why you can get like either the read-only access, read-write access, public read, or private. Private means like you can only view your opportunities or the your data. Now the
Okay. So this is where you see the organization-wide default of all the objects.
exactly. So in
Okay.
this case, I have standard object as well and my custom objects as well.
Okay.
Okay. So now if
But
I
when creating a custom object, you are not asked to state that is to set the organization-wide default.
so if I haven't set any organization-wide default, so in that case, this is the generic one. Right. This is the generic what is actually defined by Salesforce from the basic. When you just buy a Salesforce license or you buy just like a Salesforce org, you get these defaults. You can change as per the
Okay.
business model because like sometime it
Okay.
happens
Okay.
you want to give like a public read-only access to opportunity. So anyone can
Mm.
read, but only the owner can edit. Even though on your profile you have a edit right on opportunity, but if you're viewing any other person opportunity, in that case you can only go into public read only mode.
Okay.
So these are like the things. The most like the important part we're here is like when you talk about calendar.
Yeah.
So in an organization, if I just want a global calendar where I can just like put certain like a task or events for my team, and anyone from my team can actually go ahead and access that. So in that case,
Yeah.
I'll just check show details. So it means they can actually check, for example, if there is a team for customer service, right? So their team leader or the manager, he can actually add those events or the kind of task for a particular team, and that particular calendar can be shared with the team members.
Okay.
And if you want to like to show them the events, and they can also update the events. So he just need to go with show details and add events. Okay. So
Yeah.
generally like because recently there is like a new application that is introduced in App Exchange that is for calendar. You can customize the calendar or you just like edit the calendar view as well. Most of the companies they are working nowadays on the particular calendar because assigning a task to a person sometimes can be hectic because like
Yeah.
if on a particular opportunity 10 people are working, right? And if you just like create 10 tasks for them, and everyone is like from like everyone just like starting working on that particular opportunity, so in that case there would be like uh, for example like 10 people they are working on a certain record. So in that case like if
Mm.
everyone is trying to edit that record, there will be a chaos in the particular database. That's why sharing a calendar, and if you're adding the events like okay, if I'm talking to an opportunity owner or I'm working on an opportunity, I can update that thing on my calendar, and that can be viewed by everyone because task can be only viewed by me only because that particular task is assigned to me. But if that thing is shared on the calendar, it can be viewed by anyone,
Okay.
right? Same is like with the other custom objects, you can provide public to read, write, private only. Now the other thing that is more important here, the report visibility, these checkboxes. So when you like enable the report visibility, user can view the standard report types. Like these are the standard report types. So standard report visibility means all these reports which are prepared from Salesforce. So when I
I
just
know,
click,
but
uh-huh.
no, the standard report types are not they are not listed there. Can you see them from sharing sense?
I'm saying like for example, if you don't have the access, if the opportunity is private, okay, so I can view my opportunity and you can view your opportunity. But if this checkbox is checked, so using reports, I can actually view our entire opportunity for a particular region or for the company by changing the hierarchies. So these are the standard report types. But I can make the custom report types as well, but that is in later stage. Okay. So this box means for that. If I enable this particular checkbox, in that case, user can manually share the record with a person. So when you just share a
So
record, now what I'm trying to say, like as sharing can be done in two ways. The very first thing, you can make a criteria based sharing. If a region is North America or region is Europe, account owner would be okay. And if the region or the lead information is from APAC region, account owner would be Himanshu. So I can make a criteria for that. But if I just want to share a single record, I don't want to share all the records of the particular criteria. I just want to share a single record. In that case, I can just like check this checkbox, and after that I can manually share that particular record. Okay.
okay, okay,
So let me just tell you like what are the other like sharing rules available in Salesforce. So when you just go to sharing settings, it's just trying to reload the page. Just wait. Hmm. So we are again on organization-wide defaults. When you just scroll down the screen, you can see these are the options for all the objects. Here's a lead sharing rules, here's account sharing, opportunity, case, campaigns, every standard object, then my custom object as well, vehicle, insurance. So I was talking about like I just want to make a criteria based sharing, right? Now do one thing where it says sharing rules, lead sharing rules, just try to click on new.
okay. Yeah, I've done that.
Okay, so now it will open like you just need to provide a label. So let me just go with the sharing rule. Now you can see they select the rule type. It can be based on the record owner or it can be based on the criteria,
Okay,
right? And the step 3 says like whose record you want to share. Is like there's a public
mm,
group or a role or a subordinate, right? So there's no specific user. So for example, you just want to share a record of like where account owner or the record owner is Himanshu, so that is not present here. But yeah, Himanshu does have also have a role, right? So I can share the
okay,
roles, the particular role owned by me. For example, it's like a, you can say manager. I can share
yeah,
role here. I can select the roles from here. Like for example, here is marketing team. Let me select that. So I want to share marketing team records with whom, the fourth option. So I just want to share it again with the public group, roles or roles of subordinates. So I just want to share
okay,
with VP North America sales. Okay. And which type of access in sharing, whether he just want to get only read only access or read or write. I'll select the lead access as read or write. So the other person
okay,
can go ahead and just click on the record and he can update the record as well.
okay,
So that is like based on the recorder. But if I just want to select a criteria, I can select the criteria like as city equals to Barcelona. So whenever this criteria will met, these sharing will be done automatically.
okay,
Okay. So this is the thing. So we can go ahead with the record owner. We can go with the criteria as well. And but in this thing, all the records will be shared, right? If I just say record owner or criteria base, all the records which are falling under that bucket, they will share with the other person. But the
okay,
button which is saying manual sharing. So in that case, if you just want to share only a single record, for example, this Citric account, you just want to share this particular account with a person or like with a group, by using manual sharing, you can do that. So in sharing, there are like criteria based, record owner basis, as well as manual sharing. So this is the type of sharing. Using a sharing, you are extending the reach of a particular person, because like
okay,
on profiles, for example, on object,